I talked to his wife a couple days ago, and he's taking this serious, and he's training for it, and, so we'll see how it plays out.
Now, if Jake can stay away from him about 4 or 5 rounds, then Jake has a chance. But you got to do a lot of maneuvering to stay away from him. So, yeah, that's my take.
Mike Tyson's wife has broken her silence on his upcoming bout against Jake Paul, and it appears that she has a major warning for Paul. On the other hand, boxing legend Tony Bellew is worried about Tyson's health. Bellew expressed his apprehensions regarding the competition in a conversation with SpinBet. He said, "I am worried about it personally, but listen, you don't know what's been agreed between the two." He also remarked that it was alarming for Mike Tyson to re-enter the boxing ring against someone who is significantly younger by more than 30 years. He added, "It's frightening that Mike Tyson is going back into a boxing ring against somebody who is more than 30 years younger than him. It's just a bit nuts." Furthermore, Bellew commented on the anticipation of the outcome and mentioned that Tyson was going to receive a substantial sum of money for the fight, emphasizing that no one has the authority to prevent him from earning that. Bellew added, "I'm hoping that the fight is a bit of a circus and a bit scripted because I wouldn't want to see Mike get hurt in any way, shape, or form. Let's see what happens. He is going to be getting paid an awful lot of money and nobody has the right to stop him from doing that." However, Tim Tszyu, an undefeated boxer, is hoping that Mike Tyson surprises everyone by defeating Jake Paul in their upcoming fight. Offering his perspective on the match, Tim Tszyu, in a recent interview with Fight Hype, shared his thoughts. The Australian boxer expressed his desire to witness Tyson emerge triumphant, although he couldn't deny harboring concerns about Tyson's advancing age. Tszyu remarked, "I hope Mike Tyson can do something, man. He's a legend. He's a complete legend. Of course, I'm concerned. He's nearly 60. He's old, you know? Age is not just a number." Meanwhile, after Paul's match with Mike Tyson, BKFC title holder Mike Perry has made it clear. He's eyeing a showdown with Paul next. Paul and Perry have long been itching for a showdown, exchanging barbs and banter on social media platforms, fueling their mutual desire for a fight. During a recent conversation with TMZ Sports, Perry shared his perspective on the potential matchup between Paul and Tyson. Perry remarked, "Jake Paul, man. If he hurts Mike Tyson, let me get at that, bro. Jake, man, I want to definitely issue you a challenge. If you get through Mike Tyson, test yourself for real, and let's have a street fight in BKFC." Roy Jones Jr., a boxing legend in his own right, recently weighed in on the highly anticipated matchup between Paul and Tyson, offering his insights into what promises to be a spectacle in the world of combat sports. Known for his exceptional skills and deep understanding of the sport, Jones Jr.'s perspective carries significant weight among fans and pundits alike. In a recent interview, Jones Jr. expressed his thoughts on the matchup between Paul, the brash YouTube personality turned boxer, and Tyson, the legendary heavyweight champion.
About the Jake Paul-Tyson fight, Jake Paul has gotten a lot better with his boxing over the days, but Mike Tyson, even at 57, 58, however old he is, he's still Mike Tyson. When I boxed him in 21, he still punched like Mike Tyson. If he hits anybody square on the chin, it's going to be problematic. I don't care who it is.
Jones Jr. acknowledged the novelty and intrigue of the bout, recognizing the immense interest it has generated within the combat sports community and beyond. However, despite the hype surrounding the matchup, Jones Jr. emphasized the importance of approaching the fight with caution and respect. He pointed out the significant disparity in experience and skill between Tyson, a seasoned veteran with decades of professional boxing under his belt, and Paul, a relative newcomer to the sport.
Who it is? I like Jake Paul. He's a good guy. I think he's doing good with his boxing stuff. I think it's a great promotional situation for him and Mike. But if Mike comes out and beats Mike like Mike normally does, it'll be pretty tough for Jake.
On the flip side, George Foreman was recently queried about his perspective on the upcoming July 20th exhibition match, featuring a clash between Tyson and Paul. He said, "Jake Paul is no pushover, and he is not afraid of any of these guys. Time is on his side. So happy for Mike Tyson. He needed this excitement in his life. Everyone is talking about it." Jake Paul demonstrates exceptional athleticism, a testament to the superior genetic inheritance from his parents. Foreman said, "But the boxer Jake Paul is a novice. He's dropped so much so quickly, yet chins cannot actually be trained. And at 57, is Mike Tyson still the same guy he was in 1985, 1995, or even 2005, the year of his last professional fight? In 1980, when Jake Paul was 14 years old, he might have posed a greater threat to him." Foreman added, "Tyson should be able to bull rush Jake and deliver some thunder in less than a minute if he feels free to unleash loose on him in Texas." Speaking about the impending match, UFC star Tom Aspinall declared he wouldn't be watching out of respect for the legendary boxer. Voicing apprehensions regarding the upcoming bout, Aspinall conveyed to DAZN his decision to abstain from watching out of genuine concern for Tyson's well-being. He said, "Training for a fight gives you so much discipline and health and confidence and all that good stuff. So if Mike Tyson's training, that's fantastic, because he obviously is getting up there in age, but he still looks great." He explained that while training for a fight can provide a lot of discipline, the aspect of being physically struck, especially given Tyson's extensive history of enduring such impacts, is something he would prefer not to witness. He acknowledged that while boxing is meant to entertain, this aspect of the sport does not appeal to him. Aspinall added, "But as far as getting punched in the head, after all the getting punched in the head he's done over the years, I'd rather not see it, I guess. It's meant to be entertainment, I guess, but it's not my scene. I'm sure people will watch, but I don't enjoy this stuff." Criticism poured in from figures like Colby Covington and Kamaru Usman from the MMA community, primarily citing concerns over the significant age gap between the two fighters. Colby Covington has never been known to hold back his opinions, especially when it comes to discussing hot topics. This was evident in a recent interview where he was questioned about his thoughts on the anticipated bout between Tyson and Paul.
100%, I believe that every one of Jake Paul's fight is rigged.
Even Nate Diaz?
Even Nate Diaz, same thing. He just wanted to take a dive for the money. His UFC career is over. He couldn't hack it in the UFC no more with us, all-stars, so he had to go take a dive.
In his appearance on Saucecast with Adam Sosnick, Colby didn't hesitate to share his perspective, stating that, "I hate the fight. I think it takes away from Mike Tyson's legacy when a guy like this comes in and beats him. A YouTuber comes in and beats the baddest man on the planet and the most feared man." He expressed his opinion that Mike should no longer be fighting, labeling it as unsafe and dangerous, and mentioned the risk of serious health issues at such an age, including the possibility of heart failure. Covington added, "Come on, man. Paul is in his 20s. Mike still looks like a superhuman at 58, but he is still 58 years old. He should not be fighting anymore. I don't think it is safe. I think it is dangerous. At that age, your heart might explode." During the interview, Covington dropped several surprising assertions. Among them was his statement regarding the sparring footage Tyson shared on social media. Contrary to popular belief, Covington revealed that the footage wasn't recent, but rather dated back a few years.
He gets hit in the head, he might have a brain bleed. I mean, the guy, that's what I hope for. I hope that Mike Tyson makes it through injury-free and doesn't get hurt.
Furthermore, Chaos called Jake a lab project after asserting that the two Paul brothers were working with every chemical known to man. In the end, Covington called the fight a certified circus sideshow and disregarded it.
The fight, Jake's in his mid-20s. He's doing every chemical known to man. He's literally a lab project. They're just juicing him up, him and his brother. Yeah. Everybody knows that. The machine's behind him, juicing him up, putting every chemical known to man. So I think it's going to end bad.
Among the chorus of apprehensive voices following the recent revelation of Jake Paul squaring off against Mike Tyson on July 20th, one particularly concerned individual stands out: UFC luminary Michael Bisping. The British UFC commentator took to his platform not only to proffer insights into the impending bout, but also to tender some sage counsel for Mike Tyson. Bisping said, "Dethrone him and be the first person to beat him and do it at 58 years old. It's a challenge for Mike Tyson. Even though the doctors are saying, listen, you could potentially die okay, you're gonna have brain damage if he takes some heavy shots at that age." While it's probable that Mike will dominate the YouTuber on the floor, Bisping is cautious not to let Mike undervalue his opponent's abilities. Bisping is concerned that if Mike gets caught off guard by Paul, it could result in serious brain damage for Tyson, especially considering his age of over 50. It's crucial to remember that in such scenarios, the impact of brain trauma is significantly amplified. Michael Bisping added, "He doesn't care though, because of course he's been taking risks his entire life. But could he knock out Jake Paul? 100%. He's got the power to knock out Jake Paul, but how long can he sustain that kind of attack? It's more than just absorbing blows to the head. Mike Tyson is acutely mindful of the array of potential injuries he might incur during his training regimen for this upcoming event. Unlike his bout with Roy Jones Jr., Tyson recognizes the imperative to approach this fight with unwavering dedication, evident in his voiced concerns regarding the persistent bodily discomfort he endures. Despite concerns, Rafael Cordero, Tyson's trainer, brushed aside any uncertainties regarding Tyson's capability to triumph over Paul. He pointed to Tyson's history as a champion and expressed unwavering confidence in his comeback, even at the age of 58. He said, "I believe people don't have to be concerned about Mike Tyson's safety. You're talking about a guy who's a two-time world champ. The guy didn't have 20 fights in 2 years. He knows how to fight. He fought against the best guys in the world." His comments about Tyson's upcoming fight were shared in an Instagram post, which caught the attention of Mark Coleman. Coleman responded with his own views, agreeing with Rafael Cordero and expressing his belief that it would be an easy fight for Mike Tyson. He commented, "I agree. Claims of head guards and 18-ounce gloves being being considered for Derek Chisora's upcoming bout were swiftly refuted by Chisora himself, only to be promptly debunked by Paul and his manager, Nikisa Badarian, via Instagram. Despite widespread speculation, the specific regulations governing the fight have not been disclosed. Nonetheless, it seems unlikely that headgear and larger gloves will be imposed. Talking about it, Jake Paul said, "Just a quick message to the people who are complaining about the rules of me versus Mike Tyson. Some TikToker user made a video making up all these fake rules like me and Logan tag teaming him, us wearing headgear, all of this bullshit." On the other hand, after talking with the boxing legend's wife, UFC President Dana White is certain that Mike Tyson is getting ready for his bout against Jake Paul. While White acknowledged that he didn't want to see Tyson compete, he is relieved that the boxing icon is treating it with respect. White also expressed his affection for Tyson and his general disapproval of people their age fighting, but acknowledged that Tyson is an adult capable of making his own decisions.
Paul, I love Mike Tyson, and I'm not a fan of anybody fighting at our age. But he's a grown man, obviously, and he's going to do what he's going to do, but at least I know.
Dana White mentioned that he had spoken to Tyson's wife a few days earlier and confirmed that Tyson is indeed taking the fight seriously and is training for it, as he told Lex Fridman. White further commented, observing that Tyson stands out as one of the most exceptional individuals who has managed to transcend the sport. He pointed out that unlike other fighters from Tyson's era who have no alternative means of income, Tyson has successfully earned a significant amount outside of fighting. White added, "I think Mike Tyson is one of the most unique guys who have crossed over. Any of the other fighters from his generation have no way of making money without fighting, and Mike Tyson has made a lot of money outside of fighting." White remarked that Tyson still possesses a unique aura and energy that captivates people, even in a setting as casual as a restaurant, where his presence alone can elicit strong reactions. He acknowledged that Tyson continues to generate considerable income outside of boxing. However, White suggested that Tyson receives financial offers for fights that are so compelling that he finds them hard to turn down.
Tyson still has that aura. You could be at a restaurant and he walks in and you're like, holy Mike Tyson's here. He still has that type of aura and energy in a room. And he makes lots of money outside of the ring. I think that he ends up getting these offers that he can't refuse.
Meanwhile, Mike Tyson has delivered a bone-chilling warning to Jake Paul as the pugilist intensifies his rigorous training for his upcoming bout, marking his return to the ring after an absence of almost 4 years. Tyson consistently embraces challenges head-on, demonstrating his resilience in the face of adversity. Recently, the American powerhouse conveyed a daunting message to Paul through a training video. The footage captures Tyson vigorously honing his skills, unleashing powerful strikes on the pads with unwavering determination. "Jake Paul, where you at?" is what the former undisputed heavyweight champion wrote as a description for a video on his Snapchat, criticizing the problem child. According to Mike Tyson, Paul is poised to earn him a staggering $20 million. This sum mirrors the lucrative earnings he once commanded during his prime as the heavyweight champion of the world. In addition, Tyson had the opportunity to witness Paul's prowess firsthand when he faced off against former NBA standout Nate Robinson. This showdown occurred as Paul was solidifying his reputation within the sport. After being questioned about his thoughts on Paul, his brother Logan, and the influencers who were attracting more attention to boxing, Tyson expressed significant admiration for Paul in an old interview. He said, "Listen, my ego says so many things, but my reality is they help boxing so much. Boxing owes these guys. They owe these YouTube boxers some kind of respect." Throughout his tenure in the sport, Paul has endeavored to challenge the UFC head-on, enticing several prominent figures from the world of mixed martial arts into engaging in crossover boxing matches. Tyson added, "They should give them some belts because these guys make boxing alive. Boxing was pretty much a dying sport. UFC was kicking our butts, and now we got these YouTube boxers boxing with 25 million views. Boxing's going back." Paul has ventured into the ring in several notable bouts, facing off against formidable opponents such as Tommy Fury, Tyron Woodley, and Anderson Silva. His appearances have amassed a staggering sum of over $87 million in revenue, showcasing the financial impact of his endeavors. Tyson added, "Thanks to the YouTube boxers. I believe the more anyone boxes, the bigger it is for the sport, because boxing has taken a couple of beatings since the UFC's been around." Meanwhile, Jake Paul concurred with Tyson's assertion that he played a pivotal role in leading its resurgence. He said, "I think this is why boxing boxing was such a dying sport before I came into it. I literally saved the whole entire sport, basically single-handedly, along with some other heavyweights and some lightweights, but mostly because of me boxing was saved. Paul mentioned that he has begun to understand the issue, which he believes is due to fighters not stepping up to make significant fights happen. This, according to him, is why many big fights don't materialize. Paul added, and I'm starting to realize what the problem was. It's all of these fighters who don't want to man up and actually make these fights happen. That's why you don't see the biggest fights. He explained that his entry into the scene changed the dynamics by introducing a social media element and bringing his 60 million followers into the sport, which in his view has made a significant and lasting impact. He said, so when I came in and switched the whole game up, brought in the social media element, brought 60 million followers over into the sport, you see a difference, and it's made an everlasting impact. Meanwhile, it appears that if Tommy Fury had seized the opportunity to step into the ring for a Netflix bout, it would undoubtedly have spelled out a substantial windfall for him. Jake recently spoke about this on his podcast, saying, MVP, me and Nikisa had been trying to find the right fight, the right time frame, the right event. And we knew we wanted to target this summer, so we just started making calls. We called Tommy Fury, was one of the names, and then he said no. He wanted more money. Looking at the silver lining, Tommy Fury's rejection opened doors for Jake Paul to extend an offer to Mike Tyson instead. The legendary former heavyweight champion gladly accepted, adding a thrilling twist to the event. Paul added, and so now, and it's all serendipitous, he's probably punching the fucking air now, realizing how big of a mistake he made. I mean, he's an idiot. While it's a double win for Paul, it's a missed opportunity for Fury. Even at 57, Tyson exudes an intimidating aura and impressive sharpness. His punching power, honed over years of staying in top shape, serves as a reminder of his reign as the most fearsome figure in the boxing world. Jake Paul also added, literally, the next offer for him is like nothing, basically, and my brand only increases to a whole other level. We probably would have been like 50-50 for that fight, and now it's like after this, and who knows what I'm going to do? It's like, Tommy, I'm sorry, buddy. You're like a 10%er now, but you really did fuck up. In addition, Mike Tyson's hitting power has been called into question by Jake Paul. With 10 professional fights under his belt, Paul has dared Tyson to try and be the first guy to drop him. Paul expressed his curiosity about Tyson's punching power, stating that he really wants to experience it firsthand.
Very grateful for all of
when
that.
you receive one of them punches.
Yeah, we're gonna see. I want to see how hard he hits, Mike. I really want to see, bro. Let's see all the legends, the myths, because you're Iron Mike Tyson, but I have an iron chin.
Paul acknowledged that he is facing a significant challenge, describing it as the most difficult and dangerous he has ever undertaken, irrespective of the opponent's age, because a fighter's power is typically the last attribute to decline. Paul added, I take shots. I think people are underestimating me being able to deal with his power, and that's something that's going to make it interesting. I am biting off a lot. This is definitely the toughest, most savage, lethal opponent, regardless of age, because power is the last thing to go. Tyson's trainer felt compelled to address concerns raised by fans regarding the authenticity of their recent training sessions. Paul, who was once Tyson's close friend and even featured on his Hot Boxing podcast, has seen their relationship shift since the announcement of their upcoming fight. The lack of warmth between them during a recent encounter has not gone unnoticed. Paul added, I did the face-off, and then I walked away and I just laughed to myself. I was like, ha, this is insane. On my screen, my eyeballs are the ones facing off against Mike Tyson, and I just couldn't believe it. The fact that it's on Netflix, I think that's going to really revolutionize the game of boxing. On the other hand, the specifics of the upcoming match remain shrouded in ambiguity, with both Paul and Tyson aiming for it to be officially recognized as a professional contest. So that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos.